So first, make sure you wear something that you don't mind getting dirty. These are the items I used. I didn't include the matte spray, but yeah, clear spray. So first I mixed the gift box color with the dueler, which is what makes it matte. It says to use 5 to 8%. And I didn't really measure it, but I just kind of just put some in, mixed it, and then tested it out on a piece of plastic. Please excuse my husband's foot that is in the frame. But yeah, I kind of liked how it came out, so this is when I started to begin. So what I did, oops, sorry, I started first with the brush because it was the first time using it, and then I try to get as much paint off of the brush so it's a really thin layer, my bad, layer, so it doesn't, you don't really see the brush marks on it. So I went layer by layer, and I might as well start on it on this side. Just did all of this side while the first part dries. As you can see, it's very light and you can see through the layer, but obviously it's because of the first layer. It's the first layer. Sorry, out of frame. So now that it dried, I go again, second layer. You do end up having to do multiple layers in order to get to the final, non-see-through part. But it's completely worth it at the end. I ended up doing this part, the last on this side, because, I mean, it kind of just felt right. Now I go to the back, and I pretty much go all around the shoe. I literally started from the left side, I go to the back, and then to the right side. The front, I left off till the end, which you will see towards the end of this video. And I also made sure, like, obviously not on the beginning, but towards the end, I'll kind of tell you where. I made sure to get paint in between the threads because it was always leaving it white, so I made sure I put enough, like, as soon as I wipe off the paint, I use that part to go all around the thread, and then I just brush it and spread it out. I forgot to mention, after I was done with each side, I made sure to rinse the brush out just in case, so dry paint doesn't mess up my shoe. But yeah, after each side, I just rinsed out the brush with water and then dried it with napkin. And again, just reapplying layers to the dried sections. I noticed that it was not really that matte, so I did apply a little more duller. Again, I did not measure it, I just went for it, put a little bit, and just shook it because I was seeing that it was not matte, it was more shiny still. But I mean, after I put some more duller in, or duller, however you say it, I I I remembered that I actually bought clear matte spray, so as the finisher for the shoe. So it really didn't really matter. So at this point, I just needed one more layer, and I would be able to move to the top. I love the tongue and the toe cap. So I'm just making sure I can't really see through the sides I already painted. And if I am able to see through it, like where so to a point where I can still see a little bit through it, I just again applied another layer. It wasn't really as bad, but I did want a thick layer of paint. No, how do you say it? Not thick, because I mean it's thin layers, but a solid color, not see-through, I guess you can say. Um, but yeah. So this is how it came out. Um, Now to move on to the tongue and the toe cap. Again, wash the brush with water, dry it with napkin, and start with thin layers. Thin layers is your best friend. I could tell you that. Um, it looks really watercolor type right now, but that's because I'm applying it at a thin layer. Okay, while the tongue dried, I decided to go in the little thread part of the rubber, the bottom sole. Might as well because I mean, it doesn't need a lot of paint for that. It's like really thin and it's all thread, so it's the paint will really hang on to it. So I decided to do that while the tongue dried. Again, second layer, I mean, to be honest, I can't really tell you how many layers I used because I was recording the whole time, but I'm pretty sure most of the time my camera was dying or I ran out of space because my camera is doing it at the highest video resolution. But I did do just this shoe at night. It took me about 2 to 3 hours to finish it, just painting it. And then at the end, as soon as it dried, I applied the clear matte coat. And then the next shoe, I did it the next day in the morning. It took me about around the same time. So I did do them in separate days, but I just decided to finally, now that I finally got the paint and all that, to do it. I did start with the top part of the sole. Is that what you call it? No, not the sole. The sole's the inside. Um, the rubber part. I did do the top part above the thread because it's texturized, and I know it'll take more layers to actually paint the whole thing. But I mean, I can't really tell you how many layers it took me, but it was quite a few. I mean, just to the point where I actually liked the color. That's when I stopped, and when it wasn't see-through, that's when I stopped. Again, applying another layer on that piece of rubber above the bottom thread. I did, as you can see from the beginning of the video, I did do the whole shoe. except the black parts and where it said Superstar and the Adidas tag on the tongue. I wanted those to show because I mean, why not? Why would I want to cover them? Um, I just try to take them up as close to the end as I could. Um, but yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was actually really easy and pretty calming, to be honest. The reason I decided to paint the shoes was because the toe cap was really yellow. Like, I don't understand it. I mean, I did use them a lot, but I hardly ever left them in the sun. Like, they were always inside my dark closet in a dark box. So I don't get it. Why the toe cap and the rubber edges would turn yellow? Because I understand the sun does do that, but I didn't wear it as much in the sun. Like when I went to Disneyland and Six Flags, I didn't wear these shoes. I wore comfy shoes. But I mean, to be honest, obviously before all this, I washed the Adidas. Um, I mean, obviously I want to get all the dirt off, but mainly the toe cap and the rubber part. I used Dawn first, and then I used whitening toothpaste. I mean, it got better because I mean, compared to the tape, that's the color they were. But I still didn't like the different white compared to the sides and the rubber, so that's the reason I painted them. For the tongue, I made sure to get as close to the edge as possible. Like, even if I got some on the cotton part, I was, you know, had no issue because obviously that doesn't really show. But I did want to get all the white on the tongue, for sure. Even the parts where the shoelace are covering it, I didn't care. I wanted to just make sure everything was blue on the all the white parts of the shoe were blue, besides the inside. Now I'm just making sure the parts are painted blue. There's no white parts or anything. And now I actually start on the rubber. I mean, it's a thick rubber, so it obviously is going to take more layers and maybe going over it more, like with my eyes, just to make sure because it's a texturized, I think that's how you say it, texturized rubber. I mean, it's not flat like the sides or the tongue. And then while that dries, I go to the cap and apply the first layer on the cap. As you can see below the cap, like that rubber part right there, I did not do till the end because I don't really know why, actually. I just felt like going piece by piece, like part by part. Down to the rubber part, while the toe cap and the sides dry, I started with the top part of the rubber first, and then went back to the dry parts and reapplied a layer, and then went to the toe cap, and then down to the rubber again, and pretty much repeat the whole process. Again, I apologize if the shoe goes out of frame. It's kind of hard when I'm focused on painting and then I forget that I have the camera on. But, yeah, sorry. Another thing, when I did the second shoe, I didn't really record it because I mean, what's the point of making a 40-minute video when I could just show you one shoe that I did and then just post the results and all that. So as you can see, I finally have the whole shoe painted. Sorry, out of frame again. But again, the light, the ring light really helped me to see where there was still white showing through the paint, which is what helped me, paint over it. This is the color. In some pictures it did show different. And this is the final product. Obviously, Snapchat video, but the final product. Sorry, the inside is dirty. They're used. I mean, they're not new, so I'm fine with that. I really like the color. And here's the right side and the left side, like the difference before and after. And here we go. I don't remember if I did this. I think I did it after I spray painted it with the matte clear coat. Obviously outside. It's hard to tell. I don't know if you can really tell, but I mean, the clear coat actually did its job. Now here, I'm pretty much taking all the tape off of where I have all the tape, all the black parts, all the Adidas logo and all that. You're gonna see a lot of emoji after here because my husband didn't want to have his face on the video. I don't know why. I mean, but whatever. I mean, eventually he's gonna be on the channel or whatever. But I made sure I took out the tape to make sure I get the spots where I could have missed because there was tape or anything or something. Which is just a couple of spots. It's not a lot. And then obviously here, the tape did go a little outside, so I just painted the white marks. Okay, here I used acetone and the flat brush to kind of get the paint that actually went through into the black and stuff, and to clean some parts of the paint. My cat, always interested to sit on mom's lap. Okay, here you can see how there's some white residue on the black part. That's pretty much just from the tape. So that's fine. I ain't worried about that. I kind of put a little bit of acetone at some point. And it kind of made it go away. But again, cleaning the stripes, cleaning all the black Adidas parts. Sorry for a lot of parts being out of focus. I mean, this is a good camera. I really, really love it. But for some reason, it kept focusing on my husband, which kind of pissed me off. But again, it's really not the camera's fault. It's not my fault. It's just autofocus. But besides that, I love the camera. I love how my shoes came out.